so much for joining us on your Sunday afternoon. Well, I hope you like fall weather because apparently we got a whole lot of it in store. Meteorologist John Birchfield has more.
Yeah, Michael, it's going to be a lot cooler tomorrow. Temperatures only around 70 degrees. There are going to be some more clouds rolling in during the afternoon and a slight chance for a brief passing rain shower. That characteristically looking fall sky. Good to see a little bit of sunshine and those beautiful fair weather clouds. We're at 74 degrees right now, close to 10 below average for late August. Temperatures have fallen to 70 degrees up in Hillsdale County, 73 in Bryan, 73 in Defiance. And dry weather right now. There has been a little bit of that fair weather cloud cover working over the Great Lakes region. Most of the showers have been to the north of the state line, spanning from Lake Huron back towards Lake Michigan and up towards Lake Superior. Bigger picture does show you a cold front that is now moving off towards the Atlantic seaboard, and that is what's responsible for the drop in temperatures, and you're going to feel it even more noticeably tomorrow with a significant drop off in those temps. Overnight tonight, the sky briefly clears on out. It is going to be a cooler start to the morning. In fact, that bus stop going to be in the lower 50s, and there could be a couple pop-up showers during the afternoon. Same story for your Tuesday. A sunny morning. The afternoon, though, features an increase in cloud cover and a slight chance for a brief sprinkle or a very light rain shower. I'm going to break down how long this cool down lasts and will we warm up for Labor Day? You'll find out in that full 10-day forecast. Michael?
We're starting off tonight with a live look at a memorial built for a 14-year-old killed in Point Place last night. You can see it right there, multiple onlookers at the scene. Police say the young man was stabbed and ran into the McDonald's on Summit and 121st Street just before 8:30 Saturday night looking for help before dying from his wounds. The 16-year-old suspect has been arrested, according to police. WTOL 11 has reached out to the family members of the victim. We're hoping to bring you more about that young man as soon as we can. One person was killed and another injured in a multi-vehicle crash early this morning on the Ohio Turnpike. It happened around midnight near milepost 77 in Woodville Township. A car hit a tractor trailer, which then collided with an SUV and caught fire. The truck driver died, while the car's driver was hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. The crash shut down the turnpike for about an hour and remains under investigation. And meanwhile, a 75-year-old passenger was killed in a crash involving a minivan and an SUV yesterday night near Fremont, Ohio. The accident happened around 9:35 p.m. at the intersection of US 20 and County Road 128. Authorities say a 74-year-old woman failed to yield at a stop sign, causing her minivan to be hit by a teen driving an SUV. 3 people were taken to the hospital with injuries. While alcohol and drugs are not suspected, that crash remains under investigation by the Ohio State Highway Patrol. And if your commute runs through Sylvania, just a reminder that you may hit some road closures on your way to work tomorrow. Columbia Gas is putting in a new gas line, and because of the construction, Maplewood will be closed at the intersection of Erie Street tomorrow and Tuesday. The closure will be between 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. both days as crews work to cross the road. Parkwood Boulevard will be restricted to 1 lane. A Toledo favorite is closing its doors for the foreseeable future. Schmucker's restaurant in West Toledo has posted on its Facebook page that a hood fire is forcing them to shut down. They report no one was injured, and they thank the Toledo Fire Department for their quick response. The restaurant's owner, Doug Schmucker, says since then, there's been an outpouring of support from the community, and they're now asking for all donations to be sent to their GoFundMe page. Schmucker says all the funds go directly to supporting the staff while they're out of work. You can find a link to that GoFundMe over on our website. The United Steelworkers Union helped over 250 kids today get a head start in school. This is the 10th year for their backpack drive, giving supplies and backpacks to kids from kindergarten through high school. It's their way of giving back because several years ago, one of their companies went on strike, and there was a huge outpouring of help and support from the community, so the union decided to give back that support every year. They also do a Coats for Kids giveaway in November.
Gratitude hugely from parents is it just takes a big financial burden off of them having to go and find all these supplies and come up with a way to pay for them. But then like the kids, it's just pure excitement. They don't understand that it's a charity event. They just are excited to pick out their backpacks and get their brand new school supplies.
The union also gave away a bag of toiletries and a sack lunch for every person who came through for a backpack. The steelworkers are also supporting the Libby Glass workers who went on strike on Saturday.
It's really a sad story of corporate greed. 2020, the union gave $31.8 million in concessions to help Libby out of bankruptcy. They're profitable now. and they still want more concessions. It's just they don't want to give the wages back. They don't want to give benefits. They want to keep cutting. Everything's a cut, and it's not really bargaining in good faith, in my opinion. It's not what you should do to thank your community and thank your workers.
The union president says they're just now preparing to assist Libbey Glass workers. They'll be making monetary donations, and any members that have kids are welcome to come out today. It's the final day of the German-American Festival, and tonight we're highlighting something special, the classic German folk dancing you were able to catch all weekend long. Our Dominique O'Neill is live there right now. Dominique, you caught up with a German folk dancing instructor. What did she tell you?
That's right, Michael. I talked to American Turner's Toledo DVG dance instructor who does German folk dances. She says that the dances have multiple meanings. She tells me that there's a way of telling stories, and it's a storytelling method that goes back hundreds of years, back to the days of German peasants telling each other a good tale. The dance instructor, Emily Schultz, explains how the Drindels and Lindenhausen, they're much more than just a fun dance. They convey a message.
All of our dances are folk dances, which require no plot luring, and most of them tell stories. Tell stories of a young lady looking for a boyfriend, or of an occupational dance, which is a dance that tells a story about a certain job.
Yeah, and it's not just something they do just for German American Festival either. I'm told you can catch them all around Northwest Ohio and Michigan. So if you missed them this year, there's plenty more opportunities to come. Reporting in Oregon, Dominique O'Neill, WTOL 11.
Well, just take a look at this scene. The 6th annual Strictly R&B Park Jam took over downtown Toledo last night. This year's lineup featured headliner Drew Hill and was hosted by Lance Gross. The Park Jam is about more than just music. It's about unwinding and discussing mental health.
Man, school about to start back. We need a load off, man. we need a break. No, just the love of R&B music, the love of mental health awareness, and man, just the love of Toledo. That's what's packing out the parks.
Last year's crowd was over 10,000 people. And organizers say they think this year may have surpassed it. Well, coming up, tensions are rising between President Trump and a Democratic governor over National Guard deployments. Plus, we learn how the president spent his day as the debate over public safety heats up.
Well, grab the jacket. Going to be cool at the bus stop tomorrow morning and a chillier end to August with lots of days in the 70s. Will we warm up for Labor Day? I'll let you know coming up next.
Well, welcome back in. I'm sure you've already felt it. It's that crisp feeling in the air. The temperature is starting to change, and no one knows it better than meteorologist John Birchfield.
You can tell fall's around the corner. I mean, I know a lot of the schools going back, and, you know, some of those kids had some really warm weather for the first couple of days, Michael.
Absolutely.
But the jacket's going to be needed. I think a wardrobe change perhaps in the cards for this week.
John, I might go as far as to say this is some of the best weather that Northwest Ohio gets all year. How do you feel about that?
No, I agree. You termed it Goldilocks weather. You know, not too hot, not too cold, just right. And I would agree with you. Those temperatures in the 70s, really a crowd pleaser because you don't need the air conditioning, you don't need the heat, can save on that electric bill and just enjoy some of that fresh air.
Yeah, totally.
I love fall.
Fire at night, you know, you can still be active during the day.
Yeah, bonfire forecast might have to be part of our forecast as well. Temperatures near 70 degrees, and those are the highs, Michael, so the morning's going to be a lot colder as well. Back to school is going to require the light jacket. So let's jump into that cooler fall feeling forecast. The final days of August are going to feel a little more like autumn. Highs are going to be near 70, and it is going to once again be a little bit on the breezy side heading into your work week with an isolated afternoon shower that will be possible. Current conditions, we're at 74 degrees. That west wind, you can feel it as a cold front has swept through the area. That cold front is what is responsible for a few of those downpours and thunder showers last night. Temperatures are at 74 in Port Clinton. Sandusky still at 76, but north and west, Hillsdale County is at 70, and that's about where everyone is going to be tomorrow. Temperatures are only 2 degrees cooler than they were yesterday, so not a huge change, although looking to the west of us, Fort Wayne is 6 degrees colder, Chicago is 7 degrees colder, and that is the type of cool down we can expect tomorrow. Here's the cold front that came through last night. That is now moving off towards the mid-Atlantic and East Coast, and then behind that cold front in the upper Great Lakes, we are seeing a couple spotty showers. I think we have a chance to see a shower or two tomorrow as this cold front works off to the east. Hour by hour does show you a very cool start to the work week. A few isolated showers are going to be possible Monday afternoon. The sky clears out Monday night, and once again, Tuesday could be filled with some afternoon clouds and a spotty shower or two. Now, late summer and early fall, oftentimes these showers produce what we call water spouts, and there is going to be the chance that we do see a couple on the Great Lakes tomorrow. With colder air aloft and those lake water temperatures still relatively mild in the 70s, there could be the chance that any of those heavier showers over the Great Lakes, including Lake Erie, do contain a water spout. Now, thankfully, these rarely go onshore and they're usually benign. They're fairly common this time of year, but just a heads up that some of those showers could briefly contain a funnel or a water spout Monday afternoon. It is going to be a much colder feeling day, 71 degrees with a stray shower. Starting off the morning, we're going to be in the lower 50s, so you might need that sweatshirt at the bus stop, and those highs in the lower 70s. Staying very chilly and brisk Tuesday. Temperatures expected to only reach 70 degrees. Sunshine is going to be back Wednesday, but we're going to stay much below average with temperatures in the 70s for the work week, and that taste of fall continues, especially early in the week with a few isolated spotty showers. The weather outlook is going to remain cooler than average through even the first couple of days of September, although there is expected to be a gradual warm up by the Labor Day holiday. Looking ahead towards next weekend, a few spotty showers possible Sunday. Otherwise, we do climb back to 80 degrees into your Labor Day with temperatures in the lower 80s and an overall dry stretch of weather into the start of September. Michael?
All right, get to finally bust out that jacket again. President Trump traded insults with Maryland Governor Wes Moore as he considers sending National Guard troops to more U.S. cities. He spent the day golfing in Virginia. CBS News reports on the day's developments from the White House.
President Trump glanced at paperwork as he arrived this morning at his golf course in Sterling, Virginia. He was active online this Sunday, questioning if Maryland Democratic Governor Wes Moore lied about getting a Bronze Star and threatening to rethink his decision to fund the rebuilding of Key Bridge, as well as offering to send federal troops to Baltimore to clean up crime. Moore said Sunday on CBS's Face the Nation he's deeply opposed to the president's deployment of National Guard troops in Washington, D.C.
It's unconstitutional. It's a direct violation of the 10th Amendment. And for a party that talks about state rights, it's amazing how they're having such a big government approach in the way they're conducting public safety.
Last week, President Trump floated the possibility of sending troops to other large cities, including Chicago and New York, a plan the state's Republican Representative Mike Lawler supports.
I'd rather all of the above. The FBI, the DEA, ATF.
Democrats say there's no justification for such actions.
There's no basis, no authority for Donald Trump to potentially try to drop federal troops into the city of Chicago.
The possibility of deploying troops to more cities comes as federal and local statistics show crime has dropped in the past year. President Trump maintains federal intervention is needed to turn around a monumental crime problem, saying this on Friday.
D.C. was a hellhole, and now it's safe.
It's unclear how the president will legally support further deployment. Willie James Inman, CBS News, the White House.
The president has more oversight of Washington, D.C. because it's a federal district, not a state. Let's get over to Chase Bachman with a look ahead for sports.
Michael, thanks. When we return, Harold Fannin Jr. scored his first NFL touchdown in the Browns preseason game Saturday. We'll hear from the Bowling Green alum coming up next in sports. Sports brought to you by Jim White Honda. Welcome back. The Browns' final preseason game was Saturday. The team managed to win and go 3-0 for the preseason, but more importantly, we got to see a few firsts, like Harold Fannin Jr. scoring his first NFL touchdown. Caught a 15-yard pass from Joe Flacco in the first quarter. The tight end was drafted in the third round of this year's draft, coming from Bowling Green. He grew up in Northeast Ohio, went to McKinley High School in Canton. Our Cleveland affiliate WKYC caught up with Fannin after the game. Here he is talking about his first NFL touchdown.
I feel great, man. I just feel blessed, to be able to go out there, man, and, do something like that, especially growing up around here. You got to thank my coaches, for putting me out there. And, obviously got to thank Joe, man, for putting it on me, man.
Meanwhile, the Tigers were in action this afternoon, taking on Kansas City. Starting in the bottom of the second, Riley Green gets a hold of this one. That ball going yard. 31st home run of the season for Green. Royals would end up taking a 6-1 lead, but Detroit would quickly claw its way back. And then in the fifth inning, Zach McKinstry hits it to shallow left. Dylan Dingler rounding third. He's going to jog home, and we are tied again at 6. Royals would eventually take a 10-7 lead, but in the bottom of the seventh, Spencer Torkelson rips this one high and away to right field, and that ball is gone. Another solo homer for Torque. Tigers trailing 10-8, but that would turn out to be the final score. Tigers' 5-game win streak comes to an end. They start their series versus Oakland this upcoming week. Meanwhile, the struggles continue for the Cleveland Guardians. Today, the team lost to the Rangers 5-0. That makes it 5 losses in a row for the team, and their last 2 games have been shutouts. The defense has given up 15 combined runs in those 2 games. And this next week, the team has a series with the Tampa Bay Rays and will look to get back in the win column. And down in AAA, Mud Hens in their series finale with the Rochester Red Wings. Starting in the top of the third, runners on first and second. Justin Henry Malloy sends this one between defenders. Gage Workman rounds third, headed home. Toledo scores first. But check this out now. Bottom of the sixth, Alex Lang with the instant reaction makes the catch to retire the side. Finally, top of the eighth, Hens lead 7-4. Justin Henry Malloy up at bat again, sends this one high and away to left field. That ball is out of there. A 3-run homer for Justin Henry Malloy, and the Hens go on to win another high-scoring blowout, this time 13-4 the final. Toledo's offense was absolutely on fire this week. They scored 71 runs in 6 games, and it's that kind of offense that makes the Hens the International League's West Division leaders. And finally, a new episode of Chasing the Game is dropping soon. We'll have St. Francis head football coach Josh Linke on. We talk about his coaching journey, leading the Knights program back to relevance, and what's next in 2025. You can watch the full episode tomorrow on the WTOL 11 Plus app, on Roku, Fire TV, or Apple TV, and on YouTube and Spotify. But for now, that's all for sports.
Welcome back in. There's time for one last swim before it gets too cold, but it's not for the two-legged swimmer. Courageous Community Services in White House held a pool day for pups of all sizes. It's the second annual Dippin' Dogs Dog Swim to raise money for individuals with disabilities. Some dogs were digging the swim, but others just weren't so sure about it. 60 dogs signed up, and after swimming, their human pets got a hot dog lunch and could walk some of the hiking trails at the camp.
Most of them will go in the water. Full submerged, I would say most of them hung out in the, just with their little paws getting wet and they'd chase the ball, but we had some little furry fish in the water last year that was just adorable.
Looks like they were having a doggone good time. The dogs were broken up into groups based on size, so the little guys didn't have to compete with the big guys for pool space. Karnick on Black was also on hand with some other doggy fun. Well, Grand Rapids residents enjoyed some music alongside the Maumee River today. Today was the 5th Rhythm on the River program this year. The North Coast Big Band took the stage. The group features 16 members, quite a few, performing big band classics and other jazz tunes. It's their 25th time at Rhythm on the River.
We keep getting invited back each year, and we keep coming back. So it's always a nice setting by the river.
The next Rhythm on the River program will feature Ginger and the Snaps, a local rock and folk band. They'll be at the Wright Pavilion on September 14th, starting at 4 p.m. Admission, as always, is free. Your zodiac sign can now help you decide what you stream. Netflix is offering a show and movie recommendations based on your zodiac. Called Your Zodiac Watch List, the titles match the vibes of the corresponding zodiac sign. For the Aquarius sign, Netflix recommends Stranger Things, Resident Alien, and Venom: The Last Dance. The collections will start appearing on your profiles later this weekend. So what signs are you guys? I barely know anything about this.
Leo, I believe.
I'm a Libra.
Mine is Virgo, and I don't need the zodiac thing to tell me what I know.